Oh, hello. Says I'm live. I was just looking for my fancy watch. My, what is it called? And smartwatch and iWatch. I don't even know. I am so not fancy with the technology. So, how are you guys today? I'll give people a couple of minutes to try to find the stream. I apologize for resetting it a number of times. Oh, what are my excuses today? It's just one thing after another. It's about 7:20 on Thursday, October 9th, 2025. And I'm coming at you live from Southwest Ohio, not far from where the dogs eat the cats. Granny, Annie, Nanny. Sorry, I always do that. How are you, honey? OMG Charlie Day. I thought that was the 14th, isn't it? How are you, dear? One sec. I can keep talking while I gather my lights. I forgot the cobalt light way up high. So, yeah, isn't Charlie Kirk Day on the 14th? Or am I wrong? Am I missing the boat? Oh, wait, that's not the right one. There we go. All right, Tio. See, I try to have everything set up before I come on, but then it's like I'm constantly like setting the clock back, and at some point I just have to say, screw it, I'm not setting the clock back anymore. Um, are those in alignment? I think the red needs to go that way a smidge. Is the chakra aligned? Did I do it the wrong way? I did it the wrong way. Because remember, it's all backwards. Oh, Annie, hold on and I'll get all your comments. It's mostly aligned. Let's just say good enough. And get my little light here on the Statue of Liberty and go from there. No topic, not orange or pedo Pete. Huh? Why am I drawing a blank on Pete? Hegseth? No. Help me out. Woman, I didn't know there was a day. Yeah, Charlie Kirk Day, isn't it? It's like a national holiday or something. Hold on. Is there a Charlie Kirk national holiday? Yeah, they passed it on Thursday unanimously. A resolution marking October 14th, 2025, his birthday, a national holiday of remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Wow. You and I might be on different pages with this. Um, tuned in at 4:20. That's cute. Um, yeah, no topic, not orange or pedo Pete. I'm not sure what you mean by all of that. Why am I totally drawing a blank on who Pete would be? Um, did you see Stephen Miller freeze up? That was weird AF. He like totally did a glitch for a very, very long time. I could play it for you guys. You haven't seen me with my braces, or have you, Granny Annie? Laugh my arse off. Are you still diddling with this set? I am. I've literally like deconstructed it, taken it completely down, and then like added things back. And yeah, I'm constantly trying to improve the lighting. Like the lighting looks a little bit like drowned out to me at the moment, and I don't know why. Oh, I do know why, actually. Shall I? It's because of that lamp that I had just like a single layer of this um, kind of amber colored cloth over it. It needs a double layer. I think that'll fix it. That makes it a little bit better. I'm really picky with my lighting. I know it's part of my OCD. Pedo Pete is what Hunter Biden and friends call dad. You mean Joe Biden? I don't know why Pete is part of that equation. Should be 10th like his passing. Oh, well, no, because it's too close to 9/11. You can't have like 9/10 and then the very next day be 9/11, right? Charlie passed 6 days before. Never let a bad thing go to waste. 6 days before what? You're speaking in riddles, Granny Annie. I love you, my dear. So how are you? Are you in Cabo? Are you in Vegas? Are you somewhere else? And let me do all my stuff to get started. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All of these videos are made for YouTube. It's an infotainment platform. And where's the like button? Move my water bottle. Constantly moving everything. Please hit your like button, but don't hit it too hard or you'll hurt the thumb the way I did. And then again, the little signage back here that's straight behind my chair that says like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell to ring. So there, did all that. Braces, awesome. I put some on myself at 26. Well, I got these, was it after my birthday at 58? Or I might have gotten them put on when I was 57 still. But it's only been a couple of months, and they've already done the job that they were supposed to do. They said that I'd probably have them for like 18 months, but they do have to like move all of your teeth, just because I had like one little gap on the bottom left. So that gap is gone already, but then they got to shift all your teeth around so that your bite is all right. And do you know it's the 50th anniversary of the Rocky Horror Picture Show? That bite reminded me of it. So yeah, I haven't talked about that yet. I went and saw it in the theater a couple of weeks ago. It was awesome. I've seen it so many times, but not that often on the big screen. So Charlie passed 6 days before. Never let a bad thing go to waste. 6 days before what? What was the 16th of September? What happened on September 16th? Like I said, you're speaking in riddles and I love it. It's good to challenge me, brain. I need the challenge. What happened on September 16th, 2025? I said October, didn't I? It's given me, oh no, September. I said September. Okay. So it says on September 16th, I did a brain fart, me Sadi. On September 16th, 2025, a United Nations commission declared that Israel was committing genocide in Gaza. with the Israeli military launching a major ground offensive in the city. Key developments also included the formal charges against Tyler Robinson for the Red Room of Charlie Kirk, a deal to keep TikTok operating in the U.S., and the passing of notable figures Robert Redford and Jerry Greenfield. That's a lot. It's weird the way it's written on AI Overview. It makes it sound like the formal charges against Tyler Robinson were part of the deal to keep TikTok operating. It's funny. Maybe they should have started a new sentence or something. Pedo. Okay, let's see. Did I miss any of your comments, my dear? And is it going to even let me scroll back? Orange Man is Trump. Pedo Pete is Biden. Why is his middle name, or is that like the Peter, like the Johnson kind of Peter? So do you remember the video I sent you about Charlie's passing at home the week before? I think I remember, Granny Annie. You sent me a video that was really awesome, and it bent my brain, and I appreciated it very much. I'm in San Felipe, broke up with 9-year guy, need to sell Cabo and buy in San Felipe, Vegas for a medical since February. I double rubber banded my braces to get them off sooner. See, I haven't done any of the rubber bands. They haven't told me to. And I have the rubber bands, but I don't know what to do with them. I guess I'll ask at my next checkup. Age 65 and never saw Rocky Horror Midnight Curfew. Twins came soon. Well, I highly recommend it. It is the bomb. The music is phenomenal. The cast is phenomenal. The writer is phenomenal. I mean, to me, it's all about the music. The story's pretty whack. How about that? Just to kind of recite a little bit of the transvestite from Transsexual Transylvania, played by Tim Curry. So Tim Curry and Donnie were in a movie together, huh? The Home Alone 2. They might have even been in a scene together when McAllister was staying at the Trump Tower, and then I think the Tim Curry character was like the concierge or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a minute. But yeah, the music's phenomenal. The story is creepy AF, but it's 50 years ago is when it was released as a movie. It was a play prior to that in London. And then it was such a hit that people from Hollywood brought their Hollywood crew over, and it was all filmed like on the stage, the set of the theater. And all of the actors were kept the same, except for Brad and Janet, Susan Sarandon, and the amazing guy who plays Brad. I'm not coming up with his name off the top of my head. So they replaced the co-stars, which the whole crew was very upset about, but it worked out pretty good for all of them, I'd say. I mean, Tim Curry has been a hot ticket ever since. Same with Susan Sarandon and the one who played Brad. Oh, what is his name? He's been in a lot. I think he was in Spin City. Who played Brad in the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Barry Bostwick. Brad Majors in the 1975 film, well known for portraying this character. And what else? who was the original Brad in Rocky Horror? What has he been in? Megaforce, Spy Hard, Santa Girl, and Daruma. Anyway, I'm not going to read his whole resume. Coco, do you want out? One sec. Did you want out, baby? Usually the dogs are fighting to get in, but they can go in, they can go out. I just can't keep getting up. But I have to have the door shut, otherwise it's just too much noise coming in from outside from the rest of the house. Anyway, back to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The thing about the story is that it's like a science fiction, except that it's not. It's very much like the whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein, actually. It's very much like a true story. It's basically about the twisted way that the elite British, the royals, entertain themselves, scaring people that they chase around the house and then attack and maybe consume in more ways than one. And yeah, the guy who wrote it puts himself in the role of the butler, who's extremely creepy. So it's a very like humbling role, and a lot of people didn't realize that Riff Raff was the one who wrote it, because he does such a good job of just being like the creepster of all creeps. Emailed you the video. It had tweets and TikTok about Charlie passing on September 4th. Amazon released a book September 9th. Laugh my ate off. Yes, it's coming back to me now. Thank you for the debriefing. Yeah, I totally watched it. I think I sent you back an email, didn't I? And said how much I appreciated it. But yeah, that whole thing is insane. And then the whole thing with the freaking Snake Eyes movie. Have you seen the Snake Eyes movie, Annie, that was actually filmed at Trump Taj Mahal back in like 1997? It was released in 1998, where Charles Kirkland gets assassinated in public by firearm to the neck. I mean, and people think that the boxing match that he gets assassinated at is on September 10th, but on the marquee, I believe it says September 19th, but still, the whole thing is just uncanny. Yeah, the whole thing with like Jezebel, and there's a few more correlations I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, if you want to chime in with them. But yeah, that whole thing about the book being released September 9th, nuts, absolutely nuts. Hunter is talking about dad being pedophile, showers with sister he was there for. So yeah, I remember the email, Annie, and I don't know. I don't know anything about it, to quote my favorite person. I'd have to do some more research. I know I've seen him sniff the head of a grandchild, but I don't think that's weird personally. I like to sniff babies' heads too. I mean, call me creepy if you want. I do it to my animals as well. I like to like nuzzle them on the head and then just sniff their head. I'm really weird like that. I was oldest girl. My sister was probably dropped off at 14 to the Rocky Horror. Yeah, I started watching it when I was 14, I think. And some people that I babysat for had a copy of it on VHS. and they had a video thing, a recorder. This was what year? 1979, 1980. Yeah, 1981. So anyway, they worked in the industry. They had a video player before anybody else had video players, and they probably only had a couple of movies back then in 80, 1980, I think. 80, 81, maybe 81, 82. I can't remember. It was so long ago. How old am I? I'm super old now. He does funny movies. My ADHD keeps me from watching movies. The transvestite, why am I blanking on his name? I said it earlier. He's in everything. Tim Curry. He is in everything. Like every animated everything, he plays a character in. And yeah, he's had a phenomenal career. And he did so well with that role. That was pretty brazen back then to be playing a transvestite like that. But I mean, the skill of the acting, the music, and the tap dancing too. The is it Magenta who does the tap dancing? No, not Magenta, the other one. What is her name? The one that's in love with Meatloaf. The brain just goes dead. Who is the character in Rocky Horror Picture Show that tap dances and is in love with Meatloaf? Columbia. Yes. Yes, that's right. It's Columbia. That's her name. So I would have never come up with that. Totally forgotten. And yeah, the costumes are phenomenal too. I can resend that email. Yes, please go ahead. Please do. So yeah, I started this video reaching for my notebook here, and I have two. I have two notebooks, I must confess. I started this video wanting to talk about Charlie Kirk's widow. Can I get a feel for where you're at with that, Granny Annie? Because I think methinks it's not right the way she has acted, literally acted, the way she's composed herself, the way she's positioned herself. Everything she's done since his passing away is really suspicious to me, especially that she was reported to have been there at the campus of Utah Valley University with Charlie and with the two children, the 1-year-old boy and 3-year-old girl, when it happened. But then I read something that said that she was with her mother, visiting her mother in the hospital. Her mother's 73, I think, and she was in her mother's hospital room when she got the news about Charlie. I do not know. I do not know. I mean, it's hard to say. There's so much misinformation on the YouTube, and it's just getting worse with all this AI crap. I mean, it's like eroding. It's been phenomenal to use the internet for what you used to have to spend hours and days and weeks at the library looking stuff up. The microfiche, we called it microfiche film. That's what I had to do when I was in graduate school. It was insane. Living in San Francisco, having to find parking, having to go into the library, having to dig up the microfiche. Completely it's such a joy to just be able to Google stuff or to ask artificial intelligence. But now it's becoming less and less reliable, it seems like right now. It's eroding. Um, I watch YouTube, I can back it up. Meatloaf! I read his book when I was in Maui. Well, he even competed on The Apprentice. He did indeed. So I guess he's still alive. He must have been really young when he did Rocky Horror. How old was Meatloaf when they filmed Rocky Horror Picture Show? He must have been like 20 or something. No, it says he was 28 years old. And so he was born in 1947, which would make him how old? Because I can't do math. He looks pretty good still. Let's see. He'd be getting close to 80, right? Oh, he passed away at 74, 3 years ago, January 20th. Aha. So yeah, if he were alive, he would be getting ready to turn 78. I wonder what he passed away from. But sometimes it doesn't say. Yeah, I don't think it says. That's not very old. I wonder if he had diabetes or something, being he was so heavy set, but he was still like, he still had the mojo, man. He really did. Let me see. Did Meatloaf have health issues, and what did he pass away from? Yes, he did have significant health issues: Wolff, Parkinson, White syndrome, a heart condition, back surgeries, and asthma, which contributed to his health problems leading up to his passing. The official cause of death was not released. His manager and reports from TMZ indicated he died from complications due to contracting COVID. Wow. Um, he In the years leading up to dying, he underwent 3 back surgeries, metal plate and screws. He had asthma, put him at high risk for COVID. Um, he had just contracted COVID right before he passed away. Oh. So yeah, it's reported that it was due to complications from the COVID-19. But no official cause was released by his family. When he was 19 in 1967, his mother passed away from cancer, and his father lunged at him with a knife after falsely accusing the teen. This is what it says in Wikipedia. Sorry, I have to read this to you guys. Where did it go? Is that part of the early life? His father would binge drink for days at a time, a habit he started when he was medically discharged from the Army during WW2 after being wounded by fragments from a mortar shell. Meatloaf often accompanied his mother in driving to bars in Dallas to look for his father, and often stayed with his grandmother. He attended church and Bible study every Sunday. He was 16 years old on November 22nd, 1963, the day of the assassination of JFK. That morning, Meatloaf had seen the president when he arrived at Dallas Love Field. Later, after hearing of Kennedy's death, he and a friend drove to Parkland Hospital, where he witnessed Jackie Onassis covered in her husband's red stuff, getting out of the car that brought her to the hospital. Wow, that's crazy. In 1965, he graduated from high school. So that was 2 years before he even graduated from high school. Dang. And he appeared in high school stage productions. He played football. He went to college. And okay, so this is what I was reading about. His father lunged at him with a knife after falsely accusing the teen of having girls in his bedroom. Meatloaf used the money his mother left him to rent an apartment in Dallas, where he isolated for 3.5 months, at which time a friend found him soon after he went to the airport and caught the next flight to Los Angeles. Wow, what a story. Meatloaf intentionally gained 60 pounds to fail his physical examination for the Vietnam War draft. Well, that was crafty. Is that what Donnie did too? President Bone Spurs. Despite this strategy, he still received his notice to appear before his local draft board, but chose to ignore it. That is funny. That's the first time I've ever heard of somebody trying to use overeating as an escape for the military. Okay. She has behaved like she slid in where she wanted to be. Oh, I know, Granny Annie. Well, I'm glad that it's not offensive to you. That's exactly, I mean, at first I thought she didn't have anything to do with it, but she was like being paid off and going along with it, and that it was definitely an inside job. But as time has progressed and just seeing more of her behavior, it almost seems like she was part of the plan. Hold on, puppy dog at the door. Come here, baby. Oh, we got Mookie, come on in. We got all three. We're going to have a puppy party. Puppy party. So look, you can see them. See, that's one of the reasons I wanted to set up like this, is so that you can see. Come here, baby. Come here. Oh, she's so nutty. Did you see? She just jumped into my chin. She headbutted me in the chin. Have you seen this one, Annie? This is a Cocker Spaniel, and she is absolutely crazy. I think she's like probably 8 months old now. She is a riot. She's my son's dog, but him and his girlfriend can't handle her. So we're fostering her until they get a place. Like, they can have her at their apartment, but they're not on a ground level, and they want to be where they can just like let her out really easily. Oh, and she found the mouse that I just brought out for playing with. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Let's show off how cute you are. So I have the mouse from If You Give the Mouse a Cookie, and she found it, and she loves her toys. Like, she is such a toddler. She cracks me up. And check out her, I call it bell-bottom legs. Whoa, come here, baby. Can you even see her? She's just a big fur ball. We haven't had her trimmed. I mean, we trim her just to get the knots out of her hair when we bathe her and comb her. But she's so funny. She kind of looks like a Highlander cow with the fur and the face. And then she's got these like whiskers that are kind of like the Lorax. Let's see. Show your beautiful whiskers, baby. There. Oh my goodness, she's just a handful and a half. Okay. Let me catch up with you. Okay. I got texts for days from Kurt's wife and others pushing her. What? Oh, like group texts. Wow. That is crazy. And now she's going to sue everybody. I'm trying to get on her list of people to sue. People who are saying anything challenging her method of grieving, let's say. It's pretty wild. I just resent the Charlie Kirk video. I got texts for days from Kirk's wife and others pushing her. Yes, LOL. My 1989, 1999 guy, I rented a DSM to see what a psychopath was. He was one, but nice to me. That's funny. You rented a DSM, a diagnostic statistical manual. See, I went to, I did my graduate work in 94, 95, 96. And so that's when I got introduced to the DSM. Now just Google it and run. Exactly. I know. Don't you love it? COVID took out 2 of my nearly deceased friends. Shots, OMG, 40 years old and 72 years old, were healthy, passed a week after shots. Yeah, I have an aunt who was 70 who passed away, and she had recovered, or she had been living with cancer for a long time. She was doing pretty good. But then she believed, and it sounds like a booster shot sent her to her grave, basically. Granny Annie says, laugh my eight off. Meatloaf should have become a Jehovah's Witness. My kid's dad escaped Vietnam that way. Oh, that's perfect. Passed it home. They claimed pharma did it in the video I resent you. Huh, that is wild, Annie. Thank you for sharing that. Whose video is it? If you want to tell me who the content creator is, I'll try to get all caught up with your comments so we're on the same page. How cute. No, new to me. Yes. So her name is Cheese, but I call her Chi, like your life force. Sometimes I call her Cheese Ball or Cheesy Poof. She is a beautiful little crazy girl. I love her. And the big dog Coco doesn't love her so much, but the little dog loves her because they just rumble together. And the little dog's 9 years old, but she still thinks she's a puppy. And then Coco is like 11, and she's totally recovered from her cancer that she had a year and a half ago, I think was when we first had it diagnosed. It was quite a year with 2 surgeries and then radiation therapy at OSU. Anyway, I told you I'm getting caught up. Billy is here, dear one. A baby and a puppy sounded like a good idea. Oh, no. So the other son has the baby. The son who's in the Navy in DC has the baby. Him and his wife, they have a couple of dogs and a couple of cats. And then the grandbaby is, I think, about 6 months old now. And then the younger son, the one who only just graduated high school, he's already engaged, lives with his fiance. They have a couple of cats. And yeah, they thought the puppy was a good idea until they had to live with her. So they get to come visit her. You can see the demonstration of Coco not really liking her very much. She's down here. She's off screen. Coco's like, don't even think about coming onto my dog bed. Oh, what message did you redact? We almost lost my friend's black and white cocker in our 4-foot deep koi pond. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, my husband rescued a man and a woman out of I don't know if it was 4 feet deep. It must have been more like 6 feet deep. It was a koi pond in their backyard. And yeah, he literally saved their lives. The dad, it was a 60-year-old woman and her father who was in his 80s. So he had Alzheimer's and he had gotten in the water, and it was a pretty cold morning. I think it was like April. This was like 10 years ago. And then she called 911 before she got into the koi pond to try to get him out. And it's a good thing she did, because their backyard was totally fenced in and it was kind of early in the morning. So if they had yelled for help, they might not have gotten it. But my husband was able to scale the fence and rescue them both. So yeah, once they were in the water, it was like the hypothermia was setting in and they couldn't get out. So she couldn't get him out, and he was, of course, dragging her down. But man, I'm glad that the little Cocker Spaniel survived. Now you get to see the full-fledged crazy. Hey, quiet down over there. Oh, they're so cute. But yeah, they get noisy. A creator I didn't know. All right, I'll check it out. Hey, caught you live. Hooray. Yes. Happy, joy. Hey, Jazz. Hey, Granny. Hey, kids, cut it out. Sibling rivalry. If they're going to wrestle, they could at least do it on the screen so you could see them. Babies, come here. No. This one is so crazy. She's so crazy. Oh, just let everybody relax. I was trying to show you her whiskers, and she was too nuts. Oh my goodness. She's just like a big bundle of fur, isn't she, you guys? Oh, she's so cute. Yeah, my soon-to-be daughter-in-law paid thousands of dollars for her from a puppy mill. I won't say how many thousands. I was like, don't do it. And they were like, but she's half price. Because she was getting kind of old. I think she was like 4 months by the time that they adopted her. And still thousands, even at half price. Damn puppy mills. Crazy. Okay, Coco's good. All the doggies are good. Okay, you are almost empty nest. 2 left at home, 1 at home. And yes, this is why I have this nice large studio. Like the house feels like it gets bigger as the kids move out. So yeah, we had 4 kids, a family of 6 living here with 6 pets. And as the kids have moved out, it's like the house gets bigger. So now I have my studio. My husband has his own office. It's kind of his second office because he already had an office. But he uses his second office for Zoom meetings. The first office is his man cave, and he trashes that thing. So his second office he keeps presentable for his Zoom meetings. Coco, you're going to try to get out again? 1 second, you guys. Okay, there goes the party. The little doggy party. Okay. Puppies. Yes. Puppies, lollipops, and rainbows, and some comedy. You know, we got to keep hope alive. LOL, she has energy. Yeah, she was way wound up. Like, she's not always like that. If she was, I don't know what I would do. But yeah, she needs to go to the dog park and just like burn off some steam. My Maltese was 4 months old. Oh, I love Maltese. Alpha dog Pee Wee was in charge of 145-pound Mastiff. Wow, that's hilarious. That is so funny. Yeah, Billy, do you have dogs or pets? Oh, we love our pets, don't we? So yeah, the whole thing with Erica Kirk, and so Granny Annie and Billy, have you seen my videos where I talk about her having won Miss Teen Arizona in 2007? Miss Teen Arizona. And it's really weird when you try to research her on the interweb. It's like her life started at 23, the day she won Miss Arizona, not for teens. So that was in 2011, November of 2011. She won Miss Arizona for 2012, and it was on her birthday, whatever day that is. It's like November 20th or something like that. And it's weird because they don't want to mention the year before in 2010 when she was a runner up for Miss Colorado. She was the fourth runner up. And then the woman who is now the attorney in the hot seat, she's on the news like every day, and she might not have been appointed appropriately, which would get her canned and all of her cases thrown out. And they're kind of getting thrown out anyway because she's not filing them correctly, because she doesn't know what she's doing, because she's only practiced as an insurance attorney. Oh, anyway, she was the beauty queen. Her and Erica Kirk were on the stage together, and the attorney, I'm trying to think of her name off the top of my head. It's not Elena Haba. It's the other one. Lindsay Halligan, I think is her name. So Lindsay Halligan was the third runner-up for Miss Colorado in 2010 when Erica Kirk was fourth runner-up. So there's a photo that you can find pretty easily on the internet with the two of them in it, like they're on the sides, and then there's two in the middle, probably the first and second runner-up. But weird that they were on a stage together in 2010, and that now they're kind of on the political stage together, metaphorically, with Erica's situation with her husband getting assassinated. She's been like center stage. And then Lindsay Halligan has been center stage because she's the one that was brought on to prosecute James Comey and Letitia James. So just today, Letitia James was indicted on what they're saying, fraudulent mortgage stuff, which, Letitia James is the attorney that oversaw the case where our president got convicted of 34 felonies for his misrepresentation of his, like, overinflating the value of his real estate, basically. That was that whole case that his ex-wife fell down the flight of stairs the day before the 3-week-long depositions for him. Don Jr. and Ivanka were all scheduled to start the very next day, and they all got postponed because of Ivana's untimely clumsiness, let's just say. And then eventually, Donnie was afraid that case was going to prevent him from being able to be a candidate for the president, basically. So that's why he was so scared of that case. But here we are. 2 black cats bullied 2 boys in uni. 2 boys at school and 2 black cats. I love black cats. I do. Billy, good fun at Halloween. 2 in uni, great. Yeah, except people can be crazy injurious towards black kitty cats on Halloween. You got to keep them safe. Billy, yes, no freaking way. What, both were pageant girls? Ooh, yes. So they try to never discuss anything about Erica Kirk until the day that she turned 23 and won the 2012 Miss Arizona title. And like I said, that was in November of 2011. But the year prior, in 2010, she was runner-up with Lindsay Halligan. So that's just kind of a weird quinky dink. And I don't know if they're close in age. They probably are. They're probably very close in age. Let's see. They're probably both. I think Erica's Is she 36 right now? Let's see. How old is Lindsay Halligan? She's 36. Oh my God, they're the exact same birthday or birth year. Let me just double check. How old is Erica Kirk? And also 36. So yeah, her birthday is November 20th of 1988. So it says she was born in Ohio, but let me see if it'll tell me where in Ohio she was born. Where in Ohio was Erica Kirk born? I've just been very curious and I've never been able to find where in Ohio, and it's not going to tell me. It says specifically that then, they moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, but it's weird that they'll tell you what town in Arizona, but why don't they want to tell you what town in Ohio? Was it Middleton? Did she know JD Vance? What do you want to bet? OMG. I'm going to have to research that because, yeah, why won't they say where in Ohio she was born? Um, it just won't say. Born in Ohio, United States. She grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona. And yeah, that's driving me crazy. I've done a ton of digging to try to find out where in Ohio. Why are they hiding where in Ohio? But so they hide the fact that she won the Miss Teen Arizona in 2007. So she was still in high school. She graduated high school 2007. She'd already started at least one of her own businesses in 2006 before she won her Miss Teen title, but I can't find pictures of her from her Miss Teen title. I don't think. I mean, maybe some of the pictures that I have found are there's a couple where she looks like she could be that young. She was 19 when she won in 2007, but it is so hard to find that information, and I don't know of any other content creators that have spoken about it. And I want more content creators to be looking into it. Like, why are they trying to hide that? So then she worked as a modeling and casting director in New York City prior to winning Miss Arizona in 2012. And nobody knows what the company was that she worked for in New York City as a modeling and casting director. And I'm going to just take a wild guess that it could possibly be, was it called T Modeling Agency or Trump Industries? I'm going to just straight up ask AI, but it won't tell me. And I'll read your comments. Sorry, I'm giving more attention to the robot than I am to you, my dear. 1 second. What was I going to ask? What was I going to ask? What was the name? What company in New York City was Erica Kirk a modeling and casting director for? It won't tell me. No, but it does say that she was a real estate agent for the Corcoran Group. And that was in New York City too. Okay, this is interesting. It says agency represented model and casting director for various hold on, where did it go? a former Miss Arizona USA who established her own nonprofit. And so when she ran for Miss USA, dear Donnie owned the pageant. Um, and where did that part go? I hate it when it does that. The part about the modeling and casting director. Is it going to tell me? I'm going to have to go back to that. So, agency represented modeling and casting director for various TV, and it just cuts off. I'm going to go ahead and put this article, I'm going to link it up into the video that we are on live. I'm going to put it into the it's kind of tricky, but I'm going to get it. And here we go. There's a certain way you have to do it to be able to edit while you're live. And it's, here we go, view channel. And there it is. Okay, so, oh my God, the article is, it's not going to, I can't paste it in there because it is over 5,000 characters. Usually a shorter description. Holy crap, man. Let me try that again. Why? Here we go. Let's see. That is hilarious. Let's see if it'll work this time. Sorry, this is taking me so long. If you go back now, you'll lose all of your changes. Okay, good. I want to lose those changes. And then I want to put in this into the description. I think this one will fit. Never had that happen. Okay, got it. Sorry, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to pay attention to you and not my phone. Okay. Just rearranged some furniture today and went to move stuff to the garage. Maybe I don't know yet. LOL. Oh yeah, see, I've been decluttering too. Well, there's the trafficking connection. Yes. So she also owned a company called Romanian Angels, and she worked side by side with the US Marines. And then people in the village that they were in were complaining that their people were disappearing. And so they got banned allegedly from Romania. And so I've done a couple of videos. You'll want to check them out, Billy. Just in the last couple of weeks, I've done a couple of videos about her, and yeah, it's all very creepy, very, very creepy. So my guess is that she probably, not probably, but maybe probably, could be probably, possibly, and likely. So I guess I'll just go with probably. I don't have to give it a a quantity. She could be in the freaking e-files, Billy. That's one of the things that Charlie Kirk wanted those e-files released. His dear friend Donnie called him, said, drop it. He told his viewers the very next day on his channel. I'm dropping it. Don called me last night, told me to drop it. I'm dropping it. And then when the birthday book was uploaded to the cloud, it was a couple of days after that he was like, no, we need to get those files released. My theory is that maybe Erica is in the files and that he didn't know about her past, because her whole past is like scrubbed off the internet. Why would they scrub the whole thing about winning the Miss Teen Arizona in 2007? So she was on like a Bachelor or Bachelorette. I think that she was one of the contestants on a Bachelor kind of program. But yeah, um, Charlie's dad worked for Trump as an architect going way back into the 80s. Erica was born in 88, but her parents, when they moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, I think they divorced. The mom was like working for General Electric and doing government contracts, I think, with Department of Defense and Homeland Security. And then the dad worked on the Iron Dome. So I don't know per se if Erica's parents knew the president, but I'm thinking that that's a distinct possibility. I'll be chilling at home for the holidays. Yes, we are very proud of them. I'm trying to declutter and then declutter some more. I am doing the same thing, Billy. Especially with the kids moving out. It's like, yeah, it's craziness, isn't it? It's just endless. I mean, it's good to do, and I just try to do a little bit each day. Um, Granny Annie, Billy, my daughter, downsized, moved into a studio, no boomerangs, kids leave, no return. Yeah, I mean, of course, mine can come visit anytime they want, and if they needed to move in, they'd be more than welcome. But yeah, it's hard. I'm sure it's harder for them to live with their parents than it is even for parents to have the boomerangs. Studio sounds lovely. It is so amazing to have this bigger studio. Um, I had the little studio. Now my husband has that. Just rearranged some furniture today and want to move stuff to the garage. Maybe, I don't know yet. I know it's so good to move stuff around. It's good for your feng shui. Um, Let me get all caught up. I'm sorry, I'm so far behind. I am like over 10 minutes behind. Created a desk storage for painting nook instead of that massive armoire. Yes, very cool. Yeah, I got rid of a couple of big chests. They were like dead weight. They were so bad for my feng shui. Feng shui, however you say it. I can't say it with braces, especially. It's hard enough to say it without them. Is she adopted from Ukraine? Maybe, thus no birth certificate. Um, oh, dear Billy. What a fascinating concept. What a wild and crazy idea. Wow, you are brilliant. See, my mind, I don't think would have ever even explored that possibility. Thank you so much for that comment. Um, Let me see. Why is it doing this? I want to um, replace pinned message. Replace pinned message. Her mother divorced her father when she was a baby. Well, yeah, it's all very vague. It's all very vague. Like, so I think she's the older of her and her sister. And I think her sister is like married with child. Um, but it sounds like the parents got divorced when the girls were very young. I'm thinking like the ages that her kids are now, like 3 and 1. And then when the divorce happened was when her mom moved to Arizona. But I mean, I've done a ton of research on her background, and it is hard to find. Like, they don't want you researching her. So that's a really good possibility, something like that. Um, Let me see if I just go to the Wikipedia if it says about her. Erica Kirk's sister. And I understand that they want to keep her out of the limelight. Um, Keep the sister out of the limelight. But hmm, like I said, I think she's the older. Let me just ask straight up. Is Erica Kirk's sister older or younger than her? I don't think it's going to tell me. Um, she's 3 years younger than you. I don't know if that is. I have no idea if that is. That's. Who knows? Anyway, I told you guys I was putting that down, and I am. Okay, here we go. With zero experience at such a young age sounds like BS. And so then she was a real estate agent. So lots of opportunity for cleaning the cash. Real estate agent, the philanthropy, the nonprofit. And then she also had a clothing line. It goes on and on. Her resume. Ask it what the fuck is up with Erica, the fake persona. You funny, dear. That was great. Casting director, aka Pimp. Well, that's what I'm wondering. The modeling and casting director sounds to me like she was a mini Ghislaine, basically. PIMP. LOL, your memory reminds me of me. My Facebook was closed permanently after Karen Reed trial. Facebook shut free Karen Reed pages down for 8 years. And wham, I was soon shut for posting corn with a P. Furthest thing from my searches. I like that, corn with a P. Romania. Yeah, sounds like traffic. Yes. And I would think that Romania is probably right next to Ukraine. They'd have to look at the map to be sure. But I actually have a couple of Romanian people in my family that were adopted from Romania. They were sisters by blood in Romania. They were adopted by my sister-in-law and brother-in-law when they were like 4 and 5 years old. They were so cute. They were so tiny, so malnourished. Like, they were literally at 4 years old and 5 years old. They were like 23, 24 pounds. They were like the tiniest kids I'd ever seen in my life. So now they're grown-ups and they are like regular sized people. They caught up quickly with eating real food. But they grew up in an orphanage, and there was like no food to feed them even in the orphanage. It was horrible. It was so sad. Our family members that adopted them traveled to Romania to adopt them, and so they met the birth mother. Um, Casting director Epstein had, where was that? Um, so many great comments. So let me get caught up. Where was that one? Epstein had little boys there also, along with the little girls. Romania has some beautiful tall gals. Neighbor in Vegas, Mercedes, disabled and deals cards on cruise ships when the right passengers are there. I have stuff in boxes I haven't opened in years. OMG. Yeah, I have done this, but I don't think it's a good idea. I've thrown away boxes, not even knowing what was in them after having moved with them several moves and not opening them. I kind of regret doing that, but what can you do? I was just like, damn, I am frustrated. I just need to downsize. I've got 1,300 square feet to deal with. I'm tired. Yeah. Ha ha ha. One great grand and other daughter, 3 years sober, age 23. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations to her. That's incredible. Yes, bingo. Billy, great idea. Wow, yes, the look is there. They groomed her to groom other girls similar to Jizz, perhaps then out her into places near young kids. Right. And as Miss Arizona, she did like to hang out with little kids, to be like a mentor. The wrong kind of mentor. Allegedly, Billy says, I'm using Chat GPT. Yes. Billy, wow. Yep. Sounds logical. Wow. Was she born out of wedlock or not born in USA? Otherwise, why hide it? Maybe born at home. Such great questions, Billy. Because, yeah, if they're going to say she grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, why do they keep saying she was born in Ohio, USA? That makes zero sense. But what you're saying kind of answers that question, possibly. Um, well, I see the pattern: grooming little girls into pageants, then nonprofits, then overseas to aid children of the poor. Looks like heavy traffic to me. Preying on the poor is what those folks do. It is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's possible, but I don't know how likely. Too many coincidences. OMG, real estate nonprofit to launder. Yeah. Romania, Ukraine has 600 miles in common border. Wow. See, I was just going off the top of my head and thinking that they were near each other. I wasn't even realizing that they're right next to each other. Common border. 600 plus kilometers, right? We're the only weirdos that use miles. Granny Annie says, my daughter was paying $4,000 rent for a 4-bedroom, now probably 2,000 for a studio in a nice neighborhood. Where, like California or New York? I'm so curious. $4,000 rent for a 4-bedroom and 2,000 for a studio. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot near the bay. Ooh, that sounds really nice. Really nice. Oh, sometimes I miss the West Coast, but I really like Ohio. It's so laid back. My husband and I were just talking about how glad we are we moved from the Seattle area. And it's just nice to be low key, kind of hiding out in Ohio. Los Gatos, California, Silicon Valley. Yes. Oh, yeah. So expensive. So freaking expensive and gorgeous. Had a house in NOLA. I'm not familiar with NOLA. I'm going to look on my phone. Oakland. Is NOLA. Okay, you were just mistyping. I was like, is that a section of Oakland? Gotcha. Big bucks. She makes 2 times what her twin does. New Orleans. What? So let's look at the notes some more. It looks like your chat GPT is typing things you don't want typed, so you're having to redact. Billy darling. Um, so yeah, the Homeland Security and Department of Defense is what Erica Kurt's mother started working with. I guess that would be in the 90s when they would have moved from from Ohio to Scottsdale. The parents split up. The dad was working on the Iron Dome. I am just curious if Donnie knew Erica's parents the way he definitely knew Charlie's dad. He hired Charlie's dad to be an architect for Trump Tower. So his father had employment by Trump Industries. See, I'm going to guess that Erica had employment by Trump Industries too. And I'm going to guess, take a wild shot in the dark, that Donnie introduced the two of them. They have their whole story about how they met. He was interviewing her for a job at Turning Point, I think. One of them was interviewing the other one, but he's 5 years younger than her, or he was 5 years younger than her. So she was like 30 or 31, I think, when they met, and he would have been like 25, 26. So one of them was interviewing the other for a job, but decided to date them instead. So I don't think the story adds up. So their story is that they were interviewing, but then they went out for a burger in New York, and then they decided to get married and lived happily ever after. Essentially, of course, I'm skipping a lot of it. I guess they were engaged for a year or two. They were married for, I think, 4 years. And then, yeah, their oldest kid was 3. So how long were they married for before they got pregnant? Again, research. I mean, and if she got pregnant before they had gotten married, big deal. It's just that they pushed themselves in public as traditional, when really there's nothing traditional about being a pageant beauty queen and starting businesses in your teens and then wearing all these hats. She's working on her doctorate degree. She's got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. Thank goodness she wasn't preggers when this happened. I mean, that would make it just even more horrible and twisted. But what I think is really curious is how the president is trying to make it illegal to talk about her and Charlie. Like, what are you trying to hide? Why on earth would you be trying to make it illegal to talk about people? That's crazy. Crazy. Let's see. Stupid cursor not working. Sold it when we moved here to Cali. Oh, sold the place in New Orleans. Just my personal stuff. Sorry, darling. Her mom worked for Department of Defense. Sounds like heavy traffic and the families knew each other. Yeah. Allegedly, when the divorce happened, her mother was offered a high-paying job in Scottsdale. Excuse me. In Scottsdale, Arizona. She worked for GE for 20 years, and she was doing contracts with Department of Defense and Homeland Security. I don't know. I don't know. Or little E introduced, LOL. That's a possibility that I had not even dreamt up, Billy. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is why I love coming on live, because you fill my head with ideas that this is funny. It doesn't want me to highlight, probably because it has Einstein in it. It was like giving me trouble just to highlight it. This is crazy. Yes, arranged marriage to profit the families. Yeah, well, so Charlie Kirk had already started the Turning Point USA with Candace Owens. They started it together. She's playing a really weird role, in my opinion, with all these conspiracy theories around Charlie Kirk's homicide. Um, I definitely think that there's a lot more to it, but I think that she's really trying to stir the pot and send people down rabbit holes and just twisting it. Like again, the whole thing is a distraction from the freaking Trumpstein files. PhD in religion stuff, though not science. Right. So she's working on her PhD in religion. Her bachelor's degree is in international studies and politics. Of course. The video I sent you says Kirk exposing pharma's donations to politicians to bribe to fight better research for shots of all kind. Big poster behind enlisted donations. Whoa, Granny Annie, I don't know anything about that yet. That sounds pretty wild. So I've heard all the stories about the guy who met up with Charlie in the Hamptons for lunch to offer him $150 million a couple of weeks before the assassination. The $150 million was for him to promote Israel without any hesitation, without any of his own opinion, but just to like say whatever they told him to say, is the story. Bill Ackerman. Who's Bill Ackerman? He's the guy who offered the $150 million and had the lunch with him, allegedly. Who is Bill Ackerman? Okay, no, it's Bill Ackman. Sorry. He's a billionaire hedge fund dude, founder and chief executive of Pershing Square Capital Management, an investment company, has been described as an activist investor. July 2025, his net worth was almost 10 billion. 59 years old, Harvard University, hedge fund manager, CEO of the Pershing Square Capital Management, 4 kids. He's a philanthropist and signatory of the Giving Pledge, committing to giving away at least 50% of his wealth by the end of his life to charitable causes. A longtime donor to Democratic candidates and organizations. Ackman endorsed Trump in 2024. Has been active supporter of Israel, particularly following the October 7th attacks. And yeah, we just passed the anniversary for that tragedy. Criticizing the 2024 pro-Palestinian protests on university campuses and calling for the resignation of Claudine Gay as president of Harvard University. So let me see. Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman offered Charlie Kirk $150 million at a lunch in the Hamptons? Question mark. The truth behind Charlie Kirk's dinner with Bill Ackman. What really happened at the event Bill Ackman hosted in the Hamptons. Bill Ackman denies Candace Owens' claim that he staged Charlie Kirk. So Yeah, thou protest too much. Sorry. BB, I don't know how many times he's posted that he didn't have anything to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination, but I don't think anybody else has posted that they didn't have anything to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination. Thou protest too much. Jared and Ivanka arrange marriages to profit the families like the mob, for F's sake. I did not know this. So Jared and Ivanka, Jared Kushner and Ivanka. So Don Jr. was married to his dad's ex-girlfriend who's now dating Tiger Woods. Is it Vanessa Trump, I think might be her name. She's the mom of Kai, the teenager. And then Eric Trump married to Lara Trump. Did I say it right? And she's the one who's on Fox News. And then after Don Jr. divorced Vanessa, then he was engaged to Gavin Newsom's ex-wife for 5 years. And Kimberly Guilfoyle may or may not have been having an affair with Don Jr.'s father, but then she got sent to be the ambassador of Greece. Why does no other channel that I've ever seen talk about her being Gavin Newsom's ex-wife? I mean, it's all over the internet. That's not scrubbed. But obviously the whole like pissing contest between Donnie and Gavin, and man, I'm sure she knows way too much. So I don't know that she had an affair with her ex-fiance's father, but that was the allegations. But Don Sr., Don Jr., and Vanessa all are very open about the fact that the way Vanessa met Don Jr. was when she was dating his dad. Okay. We're at 90 minutes. We maybe should be wrapping up soon. Ugh, gross. Homeland Security mother and the nonprofit in Romania is too many coincidences. Oh, so much mobster crap. Yeah. So much mobster crap. And yeah, your comments are incredible. I'm just going to stay on so you can keep commenting. Playing a role. That is what my stepson in Hollywood says. Creepy. Oh, and just today, Donnie was saying that Luigi Mangione was like directly from like the casting crew for his role. Like he was accusing somebody of hiring him from Hollywood to play the role that he's in. And you know how his accusations are always confessions, projection and confession. But yeah, he was saying some crazy crap that could get Luigi Mangione's case thrown out of court entirely, it seems. So creepy. Hey, didn't I grab her butt on stage when he was consoling her on stage? Didn't T grab her butt? Sorry, my eyes are getting a little bleary. I don't know if he grabbed her butt, but I did see video footage of her kind of grabbing his ass on stage with the pyrotechnics. The whole thing with pyrotechnics, 9-hour freaking memorial service. And then, you know, dear leader just thinks it's another Trump rally, basically. It was not a memorial. It was a Trump rally. And wearing all white. Tried to kiss her mouth. Yeah, and then he did the thing with his teeth. It was really gross because that's a very aggressive mouth gesture to show your teeth like that. Ambassador of Greece, LOL, not Greece. Well, so it sounds really fancy, like being the ambassador to Greece or Italy, or, like, ooh, sounds cool. But it's like, I like to, my own little joke is it's like being the ambassador of your toilet. Like, there's really nothing going on as the ambassador of Greece. It's basically like you're just being sent to the island of misfit toys, essentially. Just get her out of here. She knows too much. Poor citizens of Greece. Granny Annie says, laugh my A off. We have caught up on icky things. Well, BlackRock had a few shooters. Well, and why do people keep writing their manifestos on their shell casings? Like, this is just so weird. So Luigi was the first one to do that with what? Like, denial, defer, depose, or whatever it was, the 3Ds. And he did it so neatly. Like, the little letters were just perfect. All caps. Oh, it was Don. It's his signature. The all caps. It was him. Maybe, in my opinion, allegedly. So then the second one to write on his ammo was Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. And then the next one to write on their ammo was the anti-Antifa people. No, the anti-ICE people, sorry. But it's probably the Antifa people that were trying to pretend to be anti-ICE. Because if you hate ICE, you're not going to write anti-ICE on your freaking shell casing. And was that like written with a Sharpie? These people, man. But I guess it's better than, the too long didn't read manifestos, right? Just one word. OMG. Jazz, ask your hubby how dangerous it is to engrave the bullets. Doesn't it sound dangerous? That's a fabulous idea. I will ask him. I had not even thought about that. Because I was kind of thinking that they would be doing it like on the shell casings when they're empty and then packing them themselves. But that's probably not a thing. I don't know. Soros sends Antifa. I'm anti-fascist. Exactly. Our whole freaking country is anti-fascist. That's what America is built on. I know the whole thing with Antifa and yeah, I lived in Portland, Oregon in the early 90s, and there were a lot of Antifa people there. I'm trying to think. They had another name for themselves too that was pretty extreme. A name for anti-government. Anarchists. That's the one I was looking for. Me brain no work. So yeah, they didn't call themselves Antifa in Portland. They called themselves anarchists, and they were very extreme, and they were there was a group of them that were skinheads and that were white supremacists, and they were very dangerous, and they would sometimes terrorize the streets of Portland. that was in the 90s. So, you know, Portland's a pretty clean city. There's not a lot of crime there. But then they legalized all rugs not too long ago. Then they had to make them illegal again because everybody was like dying everywhere, overdosing. Like a lot of people were moving there because they were addicts and they could get stuff easy. And it was just insane. Um, but historically, um, you know, Oregon has a weird history. Portland has a weird history. It was supposed to be like the biggest port on the West Coast. I don't know if that's north of San Francisco or north of Los Angeles, but it was supposed to be bigger than Seattle, but that didn't happen. Um, but when I lived there in the early 90s, there was a very high per capita sex for sale. And it is kind of the land of lawlessness, so far left that it swings right. I mean, we've talked about this before. Um, Personally, it wasn't my cup of tea living in Portland, Oregon. I mean, it is a beautiful city. It has a lot to offer, but I had already lived in Washington State for quite a while and really loved it. Kind of fantasized about Oregon, and then living there made me miss Washington because it just kind of made me see how well run Washington was. Portland didn't have sales tax, and so they didn't have money to put into their public schools. They didn't have money to fix their roads. They probably still don't have sales tax. But everybody that lives there sends their kids to private schools if they have the money for it. So there's a very it's a weird culture in my opinion. Um, so there's stripper joints next to schools and stuff like that. Um, they don't serve alcohol, but still, like literally. Sometimes people don't believe me, and then they go there and they see. Like, it's craziness, absolute craziness. But I will ask my husband about the engraving bullets. Come get me, Billy says. My firefighter abusive ex would have been all over heating up bullets. Soros has supplies delivered, directions, and pays for rallies, tells news what time. My friend knows news peeps. See, I don't know anything about Soros. Um, Whites are not supreme in Bay Area. Portland macaroni restaurant under the freeway bridge went out of business. That's funny. Portland's macaroni restaurant. Um, when a stripper joint doesn't sell alcohol, the girls are completely naked. Been there. Ew. Yikes. Okay, let me see what else I have in my notes because I know I had some stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. Did Daddy Vladdy legalize domestic violence in his country? I heard about this. Did Putin make domestic violence legal? Because it seems like Trumpster Fire wants to do that too. In 2017, Putin approves legal change that decriminalizes some domestic violence. That is absolutely disgusting. And we're in isn't October domestic violence month? Um, that is really disgusting. I didn't know that you could decriminalize crimes. Dang. So I did want to mention too how Charlie Kirk getting assassinated on a college campus is so reminiscent of Kent State. So I want to say Kent State was in 1972. Is that right? I think I should know this because I'm in Ohio. What date did the Kent State massacre happen on? May 4th, 1970. Fired into student protesters that were protesting Vietnam, protesting war. And I think Nixon was president, right? He did not handle that well. We got a good song out of Neil Young from it, but man, terrible, terrible, terrible. So, you guys, this is the craziest thing about when Charlie was assassinated, that none of the security detail or law enforcement drew their weapons. There's a live shooter in a crowd of 3,000 people, and you've got one person down, and not one of them drew their weapon. That, to me, is the biggest giveaway that the whole thing was a pile of crap, staged bullshit. am not the one who came up with that idea, like that none of them drew their weapons. It was about a week ago. It might have been a channel called like Mr. Let It Go or something like that. But I saw Mama D on 1111 True Crime talking about it. And I was like, damn, how come I didn't think of that? And then I told my husband about it, and he was just like stunned that he didn't think about it either. Like when you're gaslit, man, you're just gaslit. Like your brain like malfunctions. But that is the biggest giveaway. The whole thing is bull crap. Bull crap. Where are you reading all that JusticeAtooZ, Love Saves Lives? Which thing was I reading? A lot of times it's Wikipedia. I'm not sure which one you're asking about. If you want to let me know, I can try to tell you. So I have just like Google AI overview is also a lot of the stuff that I read out loud. So yeah, if there was something in particular, let me know and I can re-Google it and tell you exactly. It is not showing up in chat. LOL. What's not showing up in chat? Soros gets many, many very, very liberal judges elected, releasing red rummers, etc. Granny Annie says, my girlfriend still won't use social media. She was at Kent State, afraid of pictures. You know, they did some serious gaslighting with people at Kent State. Like the FBI took all of their witness statements, but then it was the whole MacArthur era thing, turned it and used it against them because they were protesters. So then they were treated like communists. And yeah, it was absolutely nuts. The entire town was terrorized. And you cannot talk about it in the town of Kent. It's completely not something anybody ever mentions, period. When it happened, it was so tragic. And then all the mind effery with all the MacArthur stuff, it was just absolutely insane. And I saw the best play about it. So I guess it was 5 years ago because it was the 50-year anniversary. And the people who wrote the play had done interviews with people that were living in the town when it happened. So some people that were there on the campus, some people that just were at the soda shop when it happened. It was one of the best plays I've ever seen. I took all 4 of my kids to see it, which I'm really proud of. And a friend of mine who was visiting from New York City, who grew up in, I think he grew up in Cleveland. He grew up in Ohio, but has lived in Brooklyn for like 30 years. So he was visiting. Oh, wait, no, he didn't go see the play with us. We just had lunch with him. And then just me and the kids went to the play. Anyway, he was an old college buddy. Oh, gosh, bless her heart, Annie. They didn't want the FBI being shot, so don't raise your uh, firearms. Oh, thank you, Jazzy. LOL. Okay. So, yeah, what do you guys think about the whole thing with they didn't want the FBI being shot, so don't raise your guns. Right, but for all they knew, the shooter wasn't just out to shoot Charlie, and there were 3,000 people there. So there's an active shooter, and they all have training for active shooters. I mean, my husband's got training for active shooter. And in this day and age, it's extremely important. I mean, some of the best training for active shooter is don't do what they did in Uvalde, if I'm saying Uvalde right. But literally, like, that is some of the best up-to-date training, is to do exactly what they didn't do. Are comments not showing up in chat? You know what? I bet some aren't, because I have it on live chat. I don't have it on the other one, and it sounds like some comments are not. My video is probably flagged because it has hashtag Erica Kirk in the title. What do you want to bet? Ha, that's crazy. Because, yeah, I've read every single comment, I think. I mean, it is possible that I skipped one. If there's anything that I didn't read, retype it and I'll see if I can read it. Because, yeah, since it's just the two of you, I've read everything. Texas has more red rums per capita. Why isn't it being invaded by military? Yeah. And yeah, the South is very violent. So our dear leader said recently in one of his many ramblings that DC is always going to be the nation's capital. I think this was just like in the last couple of days. Let me see if I ask. Damn, I've got the dropsies. Let me see if I ask AI if it'll tell me when that was said, because he seems to say the opposite of what's true. And I think our nation's capital was New York for a minute before it was Washington, D.C. And I just thought, oh, as soon as he said that, our nation's capital is always going to be Washington, D.C., I thought, OMG, is he going to change the nation's capital back to New York? Oh, if he's going to try to be the emperor forever, he probably would, because he doesn't seem to like hanging out in D.C. Oh, maybe he could make Mar-a-Lago the nation's capital. Let's see. When did Trump say that Washington, D.C. is always going to be the nation's capital? In recent months, DT has referred to Washington, D.C. as the nation's capital multiple times, particularly when announcing federal actions to address crime in the city. Okay. He said this at the speech that he gave to the Navy a couple of days ago in Norfolk. And maybe that was where he said it. I bet it is where he said it. He said, we don't want to send the Navy into war unnecessarily. And I was just like, holy crap, dude. Huh? Come again? Like, why would you even say that? Of course, you never want to send anybody into war unnecessarily. Are you kidding me? It scared me that he said that. It absolutely terrified me that he said that. Yeah. So I think that's all that's there. Let me see what What I'm saying, Granny Annie, is that they knew this was happening. They stuck a robot up there of Charlie Double, in my opinion. Mainly Texas is violent. Well, they've got a lot of testosterone in Texas, right? Houston, yeah, Houston's really bad, and that's where the oh, what was it called? The Astrodome and the Astro, that terrible concert where everybody died on Kris Jenner's 66th birthday, November 6th. Um, the the concert where 10 people were stampeded in Houston, Texas. Astro World, right? See, I don't even need to hit go. It's like as soon as I say it, then my brain types it into my brain. Astro World Festival in Houston, Texas on November 5th was the concert where 10 people died due to deadly crowd crush or stampede during Travis Scott performance. So that was Titanic AF. And there's a channel called the T on NP, narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. The T on NPD. The woman who does the content for that channel, and she focuses on like recovering from being in a relationship with a narcissist. She did an amazing breakdown of the Travis Scott tragedy. That was also where I first learned of Rich Lux. Rich Lux did an interview with a young rapper who was present at the tragic event. And then he went out to his car and he did like a TikTok video telling everybody what he just saw. That, of course, went viral. And then Rich Lux interviewed him, and it was a phenomenal interview. I want to know who that young rapper was. I wonder if AI could tell me. Let's try it. Who was the young rapper at the Astro World? Who was the young rap artist at Astro World whose TikTok video went viral and then he was interviewed by Rich Lux? I hope it can tell me. Aiden Cruz. Yes. I've been trying to find out who that kid was for years. Okay. This is amazing. AI, I love you. Aiden Cruz. So I need to look back into this because I want to rewatch the interview with Rich Lux. So this is what AI says. The viral TikTok user at the Astro World Festival, who was later interviewed by Rich Lux, was Aiden Cruz, an 18-year-old concert goer who tried to stop the performance and pleaded for help as people were being trampled. His initial TikTok video, in which he screamed at employees to stop the show, went viral, and Rich Lux interviewed him on his channel shortly after the tragic event in November of 2021. You can watch this video to learn more about Aiden Cruz's perspective at the Astro World Festival. I am going to let's see. I'm going to copy this and put it into my description of this video that we are in right now. That's been almost 2 hours, so I am going to get towards wrapping up eventually. So hold on for a second while I copy and paste into the edit Oh, I'm so happy AI finally told me that kid's name. I had been trying every which way for years. Okay, there. So it's there in the um okay. So Aiden Cruz, man. I'm also going to put a link in the description to the T on NPD video, the specific one that I was talking about, because it's like a 90-minute or 2-hour video, and she like literally breaks down the entire concert, and it's just effing mind-boggling. That was one of the most hideous events in my lifetime, I think. Um, let's see. Let's see what I've missed. Um, maybe a look-alike, Granny Annie, and still alive. That's why Erica isn't very upset. Allegedly. I shared a Charlie Kirk video with tweets and TikToks announcing his passing 6 days earlier. Amazon's book about it came out on the 9th. Hoax for political advances. INO, which you probably meant, in my opinion. Deep state likes fights. Well, it is also a very successful distraction from the Trumpstein files, in my opinion. Um, in my opinion, that's what the shutdown had twofold. Not only the government shutdown was a great distraction, but they also had to shut it down because the freaking e-files getting into the hands of Congress. And yeah, they're still not allowing that Democrat to be seated that was elected from Arizona. Freaking Mike Johnson. But I want to go back to talking about the video, the interview where Stephen Smith froze up. Did you guys see that? Like, he completely froze up, like mid-sentence. It was wild. I think it was just today or yesterday. The Maybe I'll show it to you. Granny Annie wife wasn't that upset. Yeah, I think I should show it to you guys because I want you to know what I'm talking about. Wife may have gave him his last pill, passed peacefully at home. Oh gosh, she was disobedient for sure. My friend was a ranger. What are the guys with the big hats in Texas? Aren't they rangers? The Texas Rangers? Yeah, or cowboys. Ranger then, like special police or something. Yeah, they're kind of all like rogue police, I think. Like they're almost like the police in Mexico, maybe. I don't know. They're different than any other state in our country, that's for sure. AI diagnosed my by hearing description of my hip pain. AI diagnosed me by hearing description of my hip pain. Docs denied, physical therapist confirmed. That's amazing. I shared is not in the chat. Huh. What Granny Annie shared. Well, I think she shared it with me in an email. I'll put what it is that she shared in the email. I'll put it in the description so you can look for that later. SM had a bug in his ear. Stephen Miller. Did I say Stephen Smith? Sometimes I do that. Stephen Miller had a bug in his ear, so they were telling him to shut the F up because he let the cat out of the bag. He said something crazy. MK Ultra crap. They're making body doubles of famous peeps. Cisco wouldn't be dirty. I shared a tweet is not showing up in chat for me. Oh, no worries. Okay. So yeah, let me see if I can find this real quick in my history. I think it was it was probably easier to find it by looking up the channel I saw it on. I think it was Occupy Democrats channel. And it was just like a 5-minute video. Let's see. And maybe it was a different channel. Trump and Bondi, massive error, Trump's ice, Chicago, Epstein evidence, Finland's president, fed up Republican, blasts Mike Johnson, medical bomb. Oh yeah, did you guys hear? Like they seriously are saying that the autism is caused by circumcision now. They said this today. These people are crazy. I don't see it in there. Where, I guess if I go to my history, view all, the one with, what's his name? The Stephen Miller. Oh, it might have been Secular Talk. It could have been. Let me see. I'll try to find it later. But let me see if AI can help me out here. Mike Johnson. No, not Mike Johnson. Sorry. Stephen Miller froze up in interview today. So the word that he said was plenary authority, and then he paused. Okay, so it was yesterday. Plenary authority. So, yeah, like he completely stopped talking. Plenary authority. Stephen Miller glitch plenary authority. And for those that don't know, I didn't know, plenary authority is just like all unharnessed, untamed, unchecked authority. So here's a 45-second video on Huffington Post.
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority. Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed...
Okay, I'm going to break it up just so that fair use. I don't want to get flagged in my video. So he is blinking, like he's still there. The connection is still there.
Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue. We'll try to fix that and get back to you after a quick break.
So that was CNN. And yeah. Okay. Let's get to the wrapping up part. Plenary. Yeah. I'd never heard that term, plenary authority. Um, Billy, yes, censored. Wow. Yeah, chat is weird. I think some comments she reads aren't showing up in chat. I don't know why. Huh. Makes me think YouTube is shadow banning. Oh, I am so shadow banned, girl. I am so shadow banned. It's frustrating, but I do take it as a compliment. OMG, that's Jews chiming in. LOL, circumcisions. Yeah, you're right, Annie, Granny Annie. So it's RFK Jr. and maybe Donald that were saying that. But then they were also saying, like, well, when they get circumcised, they give them a lot of Tylenol. So maybe it's the Tylenol too. But that whole thing with the Tylenol is so whack. I mean, they and most Christians do circumcise their males. It sounds anti-circumcision to me. Exactly, it does. And I don't have strong feelings one way or the other. I mean, I think it's a cultural thing. Catholic do not circumcise. I think like Italians in the Italian culture, I don't think they do. Plenary is old timey. Had no idea you were even live. OMG. Wait, what? Protestants and Jewish folks do circumcise baby males, not Catholics, I think. Okay, sorry we've gone on for so long, but thanks so much for being here, you guys. And I think that's about all I got for today. Oh, so why don't I wrap up on this one? Erica, you guys, did you know that Erica says the way she got into the pageants was that she wasn't even thinking about it and she got an invitation in the mail to compete in a pageant? That's what she says. I think that doesn't make sense. And I think she meant snail mail. Could it have been an email? But just like she acts like it was just out of the blue. But my guess would be that it was maybe the people that she was already working with, like Trumpstein types of people. I don't care either way about circumcising. My oldest brother wasn't. Youngest was. Oldest thought he was black because only black guys weren't circumcised. True story. So, Billy, there have been a lot of messages retracted, and I thought you were retracting your own messages. Like, if we look back, I want to say that there's been at least 5 of your messages retracted. Have you been retracting them, or is YouTube retracting them? Let me see what happens when I tap on it. If I can tap on it. It doesn't even look like I can. It used to be that you could still see a retracted message as the yeah, I don't think that you can anymore. Jazz, you didn't get invited by mail to be a beauty queen. No, I feel so left out. What about you, Granny Annie? Did you? Cough, BS, cough, justice. Yeah. I know, but why would you even tell that story? It's so unreal. It doesn't even make sense. Yes, I retract all my messages. Okay, good. I'm glad that it's you and not YouTube. Wow, yes, Jazz asked why you retracted a message earlier. Okay. All right. So yeah, what's up with the freaking pageant invitation? That sounds like a fairy tale. That sounds like a Cinderella story for sure. Unbelievable. Okay, I'm going to wrap up, you guys. Love and light. Thanks a million for being here and for all your wonderful comments in the mail. WTF. Yeah. And I'm just noticing I forgot to turn on these little fairy lights, my dear. Where are the fairy lights? Here it is. There's the thing, the little button. Better, huh? Sad that I didn't have them this whole time. Because I could have even like turned the camera away so that you didn't even know that those fairy lights weren't on. Oh, that's what's making it washed out. Okay. I got it. Yeah. I felt like it was a little washed out this whole time. Okay. Me and my lighting. So how did they get a little girl's address? Weird. Well, and she doesn't talk about the first pageant that she was in 2007. She acts like the first pageant she was in was the Colorado one in 2010. Watch the video. I will. Her mother. It says it's her mother and it's a psyop. Ah! Good place to wrap up, you guys. I love you so much. Thanks so much for coming in, you guys. And we will see you soon. I'm just going to hit the end stream because if I don't, I'll just keep going on forever and ever. Thanks again.